Rockstars, Eric Andreas, your guitar sage here. My friends, have you ever heard two musicians talking about the key or tonal center of a song and you didn't know what they meant, but you'd like to have? Let me ask you this. Would you like to know what chords naturally work together so that if you're writing a song or if you're charting a song out, you can know exactly what chords should work? Let me ask you this. Would you like to be able to identify the tonal center or key of any song that you listen to just like that? Friends, I'm going to show you those things. If you answered yes to any of those, you're in the right place because right now I'm going to show you what is the key of a song and how to find it on the guitar. My friends, if you are new to my videos, then welcome. Thank you so much for hitting this video. Please go ahead and hit that subscription button and the notification bell so that you can be notified of any new videos and guitar giveaways that I'm always doing. All right, let's get straight to that lesson. All right, so what is the key or tonal center of a song? I'm going to give you a few analogies and then I'm going to break it down to actually how this is going to help us. The tonal center of the song is king. Think of this as the sun in the center of the solar system with all the other notes revolving around this one specific note. Now here's the deal. Your ear naturally knows what the tonal center is. What I mean by that is this. If there was no tonal center in a song, it would totally throw you off. As if the drums were playing off beat, okay? If someone says, I have no sense of timing, I guarantee you have a sense of timing because if I played a drummer for you or a drum machine that was all akimbo and not in sync, you would hear it. So you've got some sort of sense of timing. You also have some sort of sense of pitch and tonal center. I promise you, even if you think that you don't, you do, okay? This is where music comes in, where it always has a tonal center. Typically, the song begins with a tonal center and ends with a tonal center, and it reflects that tonal center many, many different ways throughout the song, okay? So we can also think about this as the thesis of a speech. So you know in the beginning when you were in speech class, in the beginning you say what it is that you're going to be talking about. And then you start talking about the thing, just like I did at the beginning of this video. I said, this is what we're going to be talking about. Now we're talking about it, and then I'll summarize it at the end, right? So a good speech is going to do that, and a song that's in a specific key is going to do that. 99.99999% of all the music that you've ever heard is in a specific key, okay? With the exception of atonal music or what they call 12-tone music, okay? It's using all the notes all at once, and they're specifically making that piece of music not have a tonal center, and it sounds absolutely terrible, okay? Now, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about what the tonal center is. So, if you've ever heard a song, then you know what a tonal center is, or you have an idea. When a song starts, usually, just like a good movie, it sets a scene. So you have a song, it may start off something like this. And it'll be sitting there thumping away at one chord, okay? Very often, that is the key of the song, the root of that chord, okay? So in this case, it's a G chord, G major chord, but the root is a G, and so it would be in some form of G. In this case, it's a G major, so most likely it's in the key of G major, okay? Now, this is like an onion, so we have to peel the layers back, okay? It doesn't have to necessarily just thump away on one chord. It could do something like this. Now, if you've ever been to the Grand Ole Opry or if you've watched classic songs being played live, a lot of times when they get to the chorus or something, there's a big clapping. Oh, yeah, this is the song. Because what's happening is there's a cadence that the musicians are playing, and it pleases the listener's ear, and they're like, oh, this is that song, okay? Same thing happens when we're talking about a tonal center. If I were to play this, after I just played that chord progression for you several times, it's going to throw you off. Now, if I did something like this, I'll do the same thing. Now that chord, all those three chords were in there. But if I did something similar, I'm going to play the same chord progression, and I'm not going to end it on the G. I'm going to end it on something different. And your ear's going to be like, it doesn't sound right. Okay? Now, your ear was expecting... right? That's the tonal center, okay? And there's several ways that I need to show this to you because it's tricky. Some people and everybody that's watching is in a different place, okay? So now, that other chord was an A minor chord. It's in the key of G major as well, but it didn't want to go there. It really wanted to go back to that G. Usually when we're writing songs, we do patterns of 4, 2, 3, or 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That sort of thing. So your ear is very used to hearing these sorts of patterns, okay? Now, if we had a song and we were playing it, same chord progression, right? It's the end of the song. Everybody's getting ready to go home and everybody starts cheering, everybody starts getting up to go home, yada, 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 right? Now, that's because we're hitting the tonal center. And even though you may not know what the tonal center quite is yet, your ear knows this because it's home. It's home base, okay? Let's do something else here. So let's say at the end of the concert here I go, I'm playing my famous song, it's the one everybody loves, my encore. Sound right, does it? Okay, there's something that you're already going, wow, what the hell is this guy doing? I'm messing with your ears so that you can understand what the tonal center is. Because if I do that, it really wants to go to... So if I didn't do that, if I went... It wants to go back to here, and it wants to go back to the G. Because there's a natural progression. One chord likes to point to another, likes to point to another. We won't get into all that right now. But suffice to say, there is always a tonal center. Now, how do you find this tonal center, Eric? You said you'd tell us. You said it would be really quick. Yep, here it goes. Usually the first chord of a song, like I mentioned earlier, the first chord of a song is almost always going to be the key that you're in. The last chord of the song is also almost always going to be, and I say almost always, it's really important that you say that, okay? Because with my students, I always say this. It's as if you're a detective and you're trying to solve a murder. You don't want to just jump to a conclusion and go, oh, that person did it, okay? You don't want to falsely accuse somebody. And if you are a musician and you're trying to find this tonal center, you want to find clues. And the clues, you're hearing them. They're there. You just have to uncover them. And you have to basically, you're not hearing any different. Basically what you're doing is you're taking what it is that you're hearing and you're measuring it differently than the way you did before this video where I'm going to be showing you how to do it, okay? So here's the deal. So first chord is going to start off, even if it's like this, right? We said just kind of thumping away on it, on a chord. Just like any movie, if it's a jewelry heist or something, it's usually going to start right in the middle of a jewelry heist or something, or some sort of something that's related to the movie, right? Think about any movie right now, and what's the first scene? It introduces you to the, Beauty and the Beast, right? There's Belle, and she's talking, and you're like, what's going on? But somewhere along the line, it starts making sense. Oh, okay, she's from a poor provincial town, and there's a beast and everything else. Any movie starts off with a good bit like that to get you initiated into it. And any good song is going to initiate you into the melodic structure and the chordal structure of that song, okay? So it's going to start off with that chord, even if it cycles through several chords, okay? And the last chord of the song. Now, the song fades out. Unfortunately, you can't hear what the last chord is that the band ended on, but chances are, if they were in the studio, they ended on the one chord because it's just weird to end on anything else. That being said, it's a usual thing. It's a rule of thumb because it's not always. Now, what are some other things that we can use in order to determine what the key of the song is, okay? I'm going to show you a few things that I've done. that I did as a kid and what have you, I would always play the major pentatonic scale. If you don't know what that is, it's okay. I'll show it to you in the key of G. Basically, it's 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3. Great thing about YouTube is you can watch this over again, so you don't necessarily need to memorize this right now. But 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3. Okay? And we can move this form up the fretboard. And I would use this form all the time. By the way, Pentatonic Scale, you can look it up online. I have lots of videos on it. Search Your Guitar Sage Pentatonic. I'll help you out with it. And this is one way that if you didn't have any music theory, you could just take this form, play it around a little bit until you find that every note works. Okay? This is a great little tool. Again, we're detectives. We're digging in the dirt. We've got a magnifying glass. We've got different things that we're using to find out what the situation is, right? And so when we're in a particular key, the notes and the chords should match. Just like a good conversation, two people talking, right? They're talking about similar things. They'll complement each other. Oh, I went to the movies the other day. Oh, what did you see? Oh, man, I saw Superman. Oh, I love Superman. Superman 2 or Superman 3? Oh, Superman 3 with da-da-da-da-da, right? They are complementing each other. And chords and melody will do that. They do that because they are made up of the same notes. They're made up of what's called the major scale. Even songs in a minor key are made up of the major scale. 99.9% of all the songs you're hearing are made up of the major scale, even those that are in a minor key, because a minor key is a derivative of the major scale. We won't get into that. That being said, the notes that are in the scale, that's the major scale, okay? I'm not going to show you that. That's in my free course. I'm giving you that today as well. But the notes that are in the major scale also make up all the chords. So when we hear the chords, if we have our scale here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, there's also chords that go with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, okay? And those chords are major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, major. Every single time in every single key for every single instrument if you're talking about a strict major song in a major key. Okay? Now, why is that important? Well, because this is where we get into forensics, when we get into musical forensics. Okay, what's forensics? Well, it's like DNA, blood samples, fingerprint samples, hair samples, that sort of thing in a crime scene. When we're talking about music, the major scale is the DNA of music. It's what we use to analyze music and determine what the hell's going on, okay? So in this case here, if we have a G major chord and an E minor chord and a C and a D major, a C major, D major, right? Those four chords only say one key. There really is only one key where those four exact chords work perfectly. Now, there's 12 different keys, but those four, it's like a DNA or chromosomes or something. It only shows up in one specific key. If we played, say, the chords G and C, well, those appear in at least two different keys off the top of my head, okay? G and C. If we said G and C and E minor, that appears in both the keys G and C major. But this D only appears in the key of G, otherwise in the key of C major, it's a D minor. Now you don't have to know all that. I don't want to confuse you, but suffice to say that the chords that are being played, the melody that's being played, all the information that you've always been getting since the beginning of time when you listen to music is literally clues going in your ear telling you what key. It's just that until now you didn't have the key to unlock what key you're in. So another way to find out what key you're in is to write down the chords. What are the chords? Okay, using the chart that I'm giving you here, right? You're actually going to look at that and say, match it up. Okay, all of these chords are right there in that line, so it's in that specific key. Now, how often does this work? Like 95% of the time. So if we take the first chord and we take the last chord and we take the chords that I'm showing you that should match up, the DNA of music, and we take our little scale thing. I promise you that you're going to find what the key is. The chances of all 4 of those things being off are so astronomically out of the park that it's not going to happen. It's never happened to me in the history of ever, and I've analyzed thousands and thousands of songs, okay? So it's doubtful that it's going to happen to you. Okay, now, why is it that this is important? Well, it's important because now what you can do is, using the little color-coded bit that I've given you here, you can say you want to play in the key of C major. You can say, okay, well, there's a C, and there's a D minor, and there's a G. Oh, those chords sound really nice together. Of course they do, because it's the DNA. It all matches up. Or if you wanted to do something in the key of G, you got G and E minor and C and D and A minor. Why? Because all of those chords work. They match up, okay? Now, you know what chords work together, you know how to find the key, and you know what notes should work together, right? Now, why is all this important? It's so important. The key center is absolutely so important because once you know the tonal center of a song, you know all the notes that are probably going to appear, you know all of the chords that are probably going to appear, or you're going to have the subset, okay? You're going to have all the notes and you're going to have all the chords that you could pull out of. Now, when you're talking about the key of a song, you're talking about 7 basic chords, okay, that are possible, but chances are in most songs you have about 4 chords that are played, 4, maybe 5 chords, and okay, not all 7 chords. So that's helpful because now instead of you picking thousands of possibilities, you now only have 7 possibilities to choose from, and chances are the 1 chord's always going to be there because that's your tonal center. The 5 chord's almost always going to be there. And then after that, the 4 chord and the minor 6. Those are the 4 chords that appear the most. So if you're ever deciphering a song, you find out what the key, what the tonal center is. Start, if you're like, okay, what's that chord, what's that chord? Start with the 1 always. What I mean by that is analyze it. I just heard the chord, you play the 1. Is it that? No. Try the 5 chord. If it's not that, try the 4 chord. If it's not that, try the minor 6. Eventually, you're going to find these chords. This makes it so quick to chart songs, to notate songs. This is how I've done it for decades now with all my students and all the videos, the thousands of something videos that I have on YouTube. I do this same method. It's very easy. Also, if you want to solo in a song, you've got to know the tonal center. If you don't know the tonal center, basically you're showing up to speech and you don't have a thesis. You don't know what it is that you're going to speak about. If I gave you a subject on something that you knew, you could at least fake it. But if you didn't have any sort of subject, you wouldn't know what to do. Okay, my friends, that was a long one, but I really wanted to guide you through this. It's absolutely so important. My friends, that is it. Did you enjoy this video? Please, if you did, smash that thumbs up button and leave your comments below. What did you like about this video? Was it mind-blowing? Is it going to help you to understand music in a new way? Man, I hope so, because it truly is my passion to help the world to play guitar. It's just always been. I've loved guitar and I love helping beings get to a next level, and it seems that guitar seems to be my thing to help people out with. So please let me know if I helped you. Leave those comments below. Friends, if any of this went over your head, I have a free course for you, and it is an absolute must. It's literally the top 30 lessons that I teach all my students here in Nashville. Visit me here in Nashville. It'll cost about $1,000 and it'll be 30 weeks, or literally the link's in the description of this video. It is the 30 top and most important and first lessons that every guitar player should ever go through. I don't care if you're blues, rock, gent, reggae, classical, it doesn't matter, because it literally is all the same stuff. That it's all universal, and it's absolutely a must for any guitar player. So that link's in the description of this video. Friends, I do live broadcasts 20 hours a month now, and I do them all, almost all of that is for free here on my YouTube channel. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all those places where the kids hang out. I give away thousands of dollars worth of courses and guitars every single month. Whoa, yes, it's true. And I really want to help you, so please let me know how I can do that. Join me on those places there so that you can find out more about that stuff. Friends, as always, be kind to all beings. Do the right thing always. Practice your guitar. I'll see you in the next video.